dull, hazy skies greeted many of you today. Meanwhile, Gert is the second hurricane of the 2017 season, and we're watching the Atlantic quite closely at this time of the year, all courtesy of all of those tropical waves and disturbances which leave North Africa, usually about 60 of them passing through as you go through the year typically. And these are the two disturbances, one which is closer to the Lesser Antilles, halfway between the Cape Verde Islands, and then the second one is there. But they're both over some very warm waters, but they will be encountering some unfavorable winds towards the north. That means that leaves this little section here between the Northern Caribbean and out towards South America. That could well be the exit points for those two systems. So in terms of the potential tracks, we're looking at one to pass through the northwest and possibly one to go straight across the Caribbean. But nevertheless, both of them will likely be rainmakers as we go through Friday and into Saturday. So we're watching for those quite closely. But right now, there's no significant rainfall expected as we go through the next day or two, but particularly out towards Tobago, we'll likely still see some sunshine and showers for the most part as we go through the afternoon. Down towards Trinidad, it's a different story, especially along the south coast there. There's possibility of a heavier shower or two, possibly turning thundery as we go through the heat of the afternoon. So do watch out for the cloudiness building as you go through your day, especially around Diego Martin, down towards Presal, into Chaguanas, down towards the Port of Spain as well. Showers gathering as a lot of that moisture begins to pile across into the Gulf of Paria. Similarly, down along the south coast, as the day warms through Moruga into San Fernando, down towards the Carcass and Point Fortin, do look for a lot more cloudiness to come through here, and those showers scattered for the most part, and the odd one could turn heavy. In terms of the temperatures, looking at a mild night, 25 degrees Celsius for the most part, and no higher than 33 in Trinidad as we go through tomorrow. Now, on a Thursday, 31, a mixture of clouds definitely building for Tobago. And then on a Friday, you'll begin to see the first signs of that disturbance possibly pushing through, bringing the possibility of some heavier showers as well, especially around the Tobago. Similarly, down towards Trinidad through Friday, there's the possibility there of some downpours, and a couple of those could turn heavy, could turn thundery as well. What does this mean for those heading offshore? Basically, still mainly gentle for now. Southeasterly winds at about 10 knots as you go offshore, looking at 4 2-meter wind waves there in the Atlantic and close to 1.5 through the Caribbean. Let's see, at this time of the year, we tend to find systems developing. So there we have those two disturbances which we are watching, which have a medium chance over the next few days out towards the eastern Atlantic, eastern part of the Americas. Basically, we've got Gert still pushing its way towards the northeast and still remaining no threat to land, staying well offshore there. So for the Caribbean, there's some Saharan dust in here. You can't pick it out on this satellite picture, but it is going to be pushing into the Dominican Republic and Haiti as we go through the next few days. And also behind that, we'll have another tropical wave set to bring some showers in as we get towards Friday. So it's going to be a mixed picture then, especially out towards the Greater Antilles. Following Wednesday, we'll see a few of those showers beginning to make inroads by late on Wednesday going into Thursday. That will push most of that Saharan dust aside. Out for the Lesser Antilles, this is where you'll see a lot more clouds and some showers. Potential for some downpours for Dominica as well as Castries with a tropical wave coming through. And then behind that, obviously, there's a bit more in terms of some rains set to come through possibly by the end of the working week and then as we go into the weekend there. So it's going to be a mixed bag then for Trinidad through Wednesday, some cloudy patches, a scattering of showers, and all the while feeling quite humid as well. So that's the weather, and that's it from me.